What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building, man. And today I got a very special video lined up for y'all, man. I got the top 3 best rare shooting guards on NBA 2K21 on next gen, y'all. So again, before we get into the making of any of these builds, y'all, I just want to say thank y'all so much for all the support that y'all been showing me, man. I truly appreciate it. Just know that we are easily going to be hitting that 100,000 supporters very soon, y'all. But before we get into the making, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now let's go ahead and get into the making of this rebounding guard. Of course, want to go ahead and put it under the shooting guard position. Now, when it comes to the height, the weight, and the wingspan, these are all really going to be optional, but I'm going to go with the height of 6'9" for this build. When it comes to the weight, you could go with the lowest you want if you want to go with the speed, but I'm going to go with the 215 weight and the 7'7" wingspan. I feel like that's going to be really balanced all around, especially when you get into these stats, y'all. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at what we're going to do here. So when it comes to the finishing side of things, we're going to be able to max out the driving layup and driving dunk. Then on the post control, put this to an 85 for 17 badges, and that's going to be all good right there. Then when it comes to the shooting, y'all, go ahead and max out both the mid-range shot as well as the three-pointer, and then go ahead and put the free throw up to a 91 for another 12 badges. Now, when it comes to the playmaking, go ahead and put the pass accuracy to a 74. Ball handle will be 70 and the speed with ball a 72 for 5 badges right here. Then when it comes to the defense, y'all, go ahead and max out the perimeter defense, steal, as well as the block. Then when it comes to the defensive rebound, max that out as well. And the offensive is going to be brought up to a 79. Now, when it comes to the physicals, y'all already know that we're going to be able to max out the speed, acceleration, strength, vertical, and we still maintain a really nice stamina on this build. It really comes down to what you want to do when it comes to the physical side. But honestly, as long as you follow along, you're going to be just fine, so do not even worry about it. Now, this badge setup is going to be really nice, especially with the 27 defensive badges. There are also a couple different ways that you can go about making this specific build, but again, it just comes down to what you want to do when it comes to these stats, because every little stat and everything about this build, you will risk changing the build name if you end up deciding to go another route when it comes to these stats. So that is why I keep everything as I do, but feel free to explore and find out if you like something better with what your preference is going to be. Now, when it comes to the takeovers, we get the slashing, lockdown, and then on top of that, we get the glass cleaning, but you cannot forget about the post control, y'all. So again, when it comes to this build, we did put the post control up over the standing dunk, and that is why I feel like it's going to be a key thing when it comes to this rare build, because we actually get different takeovers when we do that. First one, I'm going to go with this finishing move. Second, I would recommend a lockdown one. And as y'all can see, we made the rebounding guard, y'all. Now, we got a Klay Thompson comparison. Y'all already know that this build is definitely going to be goated. Then, I got the tempo pushing guard coming at y'all, man. 2 different versions for this one, so I'm giving y'all extra out of this top 3 best shooting guard build video. So man, if you can, I would highly appreciate it. Go ahead and smack that like button right now. Go ahead and run up those likes. I would truly appreciate that. It helps me out so much. Now, when it comes to this tempo pushing guard, we are actually going to be able to get that rim protecting takeover on this build. So that is what's going to be very clutch about bringing more than one version of a build. Y'all have options and you are not stuck with just doing one thing. And that is why I love to do that for y'all. Always going to be bringing y'all the latest, the greatest, the rarest, and the best. Now, when it comes to this build, go ahead and put it under the shooting guard position, of course. Now, I'm telling you, this build is honestly low-key a two-way with the way that we make it. Gonna be completely mind-blowing when it comes to these stats as well as the badges. Now, with this setup, I'm gonna be going with 6'7", 209, and the wingspan is gonna go up to 7'4". The best body shape, in my opinion, is going to be built or even burly. It really just makes your player take up more size when you're on the court. If you're interested in doing that, then I would go ahead and highly recommend picking the biggest body shape that is possible. Now, when it comes to these stats, y'all, as you can see, a key thing that you really need to focus on when it comes to the finishing, the 94 driving dunk. If you go up 1 tick, you are going to change the build name. Another thing that you really want to focus on here is going to be the shooting. The mid-range and the three-pointer cannot go over in 82. If you do that, you're going to change up the build name. Now, the pass accuracy is pretty strict with this build. 47 is an okay safe zone, but I would not risk going too much higher than that. And this is only the first version, so do not worry. The second, we will be getting more badges in certain areas. Then, when it comes to the defense, y'all, this is going to be straight elite everywhere, y'all. The perimeter defense is pretty well balanced at 80. Do not try to go anything higher for this version at least. Then when it comes to the rebounding, we are actually going to be pretty solid, especially once you grind this build out at 99. You're going to be getting a +4 to your defensive rebound. And then on top of that, if you add boost, it's going to be even better. So again, that is something that I would highly consider when it comes to making this build. But if you are interested in making the second one, go ahead and take the quick screenshot, rewind it or pause it, do what y'all need to do. Let's go ahead and get into the second version, y'all. So we do have a little bit of the playmaking badges when it comes to this one, but I definitely want to be able to balance that out, y'all, because I feel like every single build, if you can get the pro dribble moves, you definitely need a good handful of badges just to be effective, y'all. Now, this setup looks really nice, 15, 12, 11, and 24. You can even go a little bit further, but honestly, I would not risk it. I feel like this is going to be a perfect balance between the finishing, the shooting, the playmaking, and on top of all that, the defense is still really elite. So again, it just comes down to if you like this setup or the first one better. Then when it comes to these takeovers, we get the slashing, shot creating, sharp shooting, but last but not least, you already know, we get the defensive rim protector. So whatever one you decide to pick, I'm telling you right now, go ahead and pick the offensive takeover first, so that way it is going to be much easier to get that defensive takeover second. I'm going to go with finishing moves first. Second one is completely up to y'all, but honestly, whatever takeover you pick second, it's going to make it much easier to get. That's just the way the game works. Now, if you pick the offensive takeover, go ahead and pick a sharpshooting one. I'm going with the defense, and as y'all can see, we got the tempo pushing guard, James Harden and Kobe Bryant. I'm telling y'all, very goated comparisons. Now, we got the last build coming at y'all. I could not leave the offensive minded guard build off of this list. Definitely going to be one of my favorite builds to use, especially with the stats that we get in it. And on top of all that, the 3 different versions make it even better. So y'all have options. So y'all know that I'm going to be putting in so much work just to bring y'all the best possible version of any build that I'm bringing out to y'all. Definitely going to bring y'all at least 2 different versions just so you know that you got options when you come through to the Rich Gang. But man, I'm going to go ahead and just say this right now before we get into the making of this final build. Go ahead and run up those likes. I would truly appreciate it. Hit that sub button if you're new. And last but not least, turn on post notices so y'all can see when I upload every single day. Now let's go ahead and get into the making of this build. So let's go ahead and get started with the height, the weight, and the wingspan. Honestly, probably the most important thing when it comes to any build. Go with the height of 6'7". When it comes to the weight, go with 209. And then when it comes to the wingspan, I'm going to be going with 7'4". Body shape is completely up to you. I would choose between defined or even burly. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the first build. The driving layup is actually going to go all the way up to a 94, and the driving dunk is going to be the same exact thing. Then when it comes to the post control, you could put this to a 79 or an 80 for the 15 badges. Either way, it does not make a difference. You still maintain the same amount, which is going to be really good. Then when it comes to the shooting, go ahead and put the mid-range shot up to an 82, 3-point shot up to an 82 as well. And then when it comes to the free throw, go ahead and put this to a 94 for 14 badges. So between the finishing as well as the shooting, already 29 badges. You could even say it's 30. When it comes to the playmaking, we're going to be able to get 10 badges right here. 1 tick off of the 80 ball handles to get those pro dribble moves. And the reason why I do that is because if you go over the 79 ball handle, you're going to change up the build name. And then when it comes to the defense, same thing with the interior defense. 79 as well. But if you go anything higher, you're going to change the build name. But 20 defensive badges for the first version is not going to be bad at all. When it comes to the vertical, this is going to be 91. And then max out the speed, acceleration, and strength. On top of all that, we still get a really solid stamina. So again, it just comes down to what you want to explore with when it comes to this build. But I feel like this is easily one of the safer versions that I could bring to y'all. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is when it comes to the second version, I'm going to go ahead and change a couple different things here. I'm going to go ahead and lower my interior as well as my perimeter defense. From there, I'm going to go ahead and put it into my rebounding. And as you can see, it makes a huge difference right here. 23 badges, still get the same amount of the physicals, except that our stamina is going to be higher. Now, we got one more version to bring at y'all. And I'm telling you, the third version might even be the best overall. If you're willing to grind it out, that is the one thing that it depends on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the interior defense back to the 79. Perimeter defense is going to go up to the 63. And we still keep some of the stats on the rebounding to still get the 23 badges. And honestly, super balanced. And we get even more badges on the defensive. So that's going to be a plus in my book. Then when it comes to the takeovers, we get the slashing, shot creating, sharp shooting, and then the rim protecting. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to y'all for the takeovers, but I truly just want to say thank y'all so much to all the support y'all been showing me, man. So before we get out of here, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the Rich Gang family, as well as any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and smack that like button right now. Go ahead and share this banger with your family and friends. And last but not least, turn on post notice so y'all can catch me in tomorrow's banger as well. Now let's go ahead and get into the final. We got the offensive-minded guard, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I truly appreciate it. Just know tomorrow another banger is dropping, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.